I told myself not that I'm going to record this video, but that I already record this video before recording it. It was a means for me to manifest the creation of this video that you're watching right now. That's not particularly what you came here to listen to. Misery loves company, and that company corrupts good morals, as the Bible says. As a woman, young woman, older woman, whatever age that you are, if having a long-lasting relationship and or marriage one day and creating the family that you desire is something that you want to do as a woman. Now understand, perhaps that's not what all women want, but for the women that do want that, you have to understand something. There's a saying that goes, the saying that goes, you're the sum of the five people that you hang out with. It's a saying that has echoed through time for quite some time. It's one of those cliches, so to speak. But you gotta understand something about cliches. Cliches exist because there existed people who've experienced things before we did, who kind of have a good grasp of what we're going through right now, right? We're kind of late to the party. That's why all these sayings and statements and quotes all sound like a cliche. Misery loves company, and bad company corrupts good morals. There is a reason why women chronically do not like each other. I mean, you can tell me for yourself. Since I've been in high school, I always hear multiple girls come to me unprovoked. I didn't even ask them. They come to me and they tell me that they don't like being friends with girls because girls are messy. That they prefer to be friends with guys because guys aren't as messy as girls are. Women do not like each other. And they know why they don't like each other on some level. Oftentimes, I've noticed when it comes to women, when a girl has something that, let's say, her companion, not companion, but her friend, an associate that she has, does not have. It is not always the case where if one girl wants something, let's say two girls are friends. If one girl wants something that the other girl necessarily wants it, oftentimes it's just the case that the other girl that doesn't have what this girl has wants what this girl has simply because she doesn't have it. Does that make zero sense and it's confusing? Welcome to the nature of the female. Most of what women do is confusing. This is why a lot of girls don't like dealing with other girls, because they know as a girl themselves, they're confusing. Dealing with other girls is just going to cause even more confusion. It's part of the reasons why women don't like each other. My point of saying that is to say, oftentimes women can be very self-sabotaging, and even more so, they can be very sabotaging to the people around them. Certain women can be sabotaging to other women, especially when a woman has something that deep down she knows that she wants. You often hear women say all the time that they don't care about a relationship, they don't care about finding a boyfriend. Dudes are bleep, men are dogs, blah, blah, blah. They complain. But at the same time, they're sending reels and TikToks to their best friend about relationship goals, Indian, Dirk love, or whatever the heck it may be. So it's like, women know that other women are capping when they say certain things. When women claim that they don't care about a relationship or being in a relationship with a guy or want to be with a guy, they know it's a lie. They know it's cap. Because behind closed doors, you and your friends are literally having long discussions about relationships that you're not even in. But you're talking about the relationship like you're in a relationship with a certain person. When I say that single women keep other women single, what I'm trying to tell you is, as a young woman, if a relationship or long-lasting relationship is something that you desire with a man, if you have a woman that you're friends with, it doesn't matter how long the friendship is, you got to be willing and able to break certain bonds that, quite frankly, do not benefit your ultimate goal. There's nothing wrong with that at all. honestly, especially if it's going to be a hindrance, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but I've noticed that a lot of women have a hard time letting go of certain friendships just because of the duration of the friendship, how long the friendship is withstood or has lasted between whomever she has that relationship with. If you're a woman that wants a relationship and you actually want to be able to maintain that relationship, if you have a girl as a friend, a girlfriend, and you know her to be chronically single, not necessarily because she chooses to be single. Like you can tell she makes certain efforts to not be single, but somehow she always ends up single. And it's even more so in the case where you know that this girl's promiscuous. No girl actually, yeah, you have like exceptions. You have the 5% or the 1% of girls that genuinely want to be hoes. But most girls don't actually want to be hoes and just use for their body. They just don't. So oftentimes, a lot of these girls that are promiscuous, they do want a relationship, but for some absurd reason, they cannot seem to only to one get in one. Sometimes they can, but most importantly, they cannot seem to be able to keep a relationship. Why is that? Why is that? I would say the reason why itself shouldn't really even matter to you. It just what should matter is the fact of what is. This girl obviously wants a relationship to a degree, but she keeps finding herself in situations where she's just a tool for men's satisfaction, a plethora of different men's satisfaction. With that being said, if this is the case with your friend, now what I would say is to give her like a grace period. I don't know, maybe a couple months to a year, right? Let her be in a relationship with a guy that she actually likes and care about and sustain that relationship. Otherwise, now of course I'm not saying go up to her and give her this ultimatum. I'm saying this has to kind of be something that you have in the back of your mind. Where if this girl cannot get in a relationship, and not just get in a relationship, but also keep that relationship for a good amount of time, you have to understand, as I mentioned earlier, women can be very self-sabotaging, and even more so, they can be sabotaging to one another, especially when their friend wants something that they don't want. It's so funny that women can recognize and understand that certain people do not really want the best for you the way that, as much as they may claim that they do, they don't always want the best for you. And certain people are pretty much opposition, so to speak, on the low, right? They can recognize these relationships outside of their dealings. But when it comes to internalizing it with their surrounding, for some reason, they believe that they found the 1% of people under the sun that are not like that. The same people that you witness get betrayed by a friend, by their best friend or sister, or whatever it may be, they believe the same thing that you believe. They thought that that friend was going to be a ride or die. They thought that friend was going to be a ride or die, and they let their guard down. And now look at them. You're not the first one that believed yourself to be this intelligent person that knows how to discern the right companions to keep around. You're not the first person, and you're not the last. You're not the first person, you're not the only one, and you're certainly not going to be the last. I'm not trying to plant a seed in your mind to say that your friend just wants the worst for you or whatever. I'm saying at some point or another, knowing how vindictive women can be for absolutely no reason or whatever reason that they envision in their mind, knowing how vindictive women can be. If you're planning on getting a relationship, you're planning to get in a relationship and to sustain that relationship long term, you kind of need to set a time clock for the duration of your friendship with this woman, with this girl that you know has damn near disease of not being able to be in a relationship for a long lasting time. Because it's like, at some point or the other, to expand more on the spitefulness of women, envy manifests in the heart of somebody. Envy often manifests themselves in the heart of people who desire certain things that they may or may not be able to attain at the time. But if they see somebody around them that can attain it, it's almost like, because men and women compete with each other on a different level. And by that I mean men compete with other men and women compete with other women. When men compete with other men, we're able to kind of like shake it off and be like, okay, the best man won. It is what it is. Ours is more like controlled. When women compete with each other, oh my lord, it is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. To put it quite blunt, it is the most mischievous thing I've ever seen. Once again, is one of the reasons why women don't like being friends with other women. Women can be very deviant. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but women can be very devious, bro. Yes, it is the case that most violent crimes are committed by men, or most acts of like just crimes in general is committed by men. But oftentimes that's only the case because women don't really have the physical prowess to commit half of the crimes that men are able to commit. It doesn't mean that they don't have the potential to do it or they don't want to do it. They just physically can't really do it to the degree of men. Human beings naturally possess a huge amount of malice. This is why we like watching other people fight for no freaking reason. We like watching fight videos for some absurd reason. You don't even know the two people. You don't even know what beef they got. All you care about is that they're fighting. Remember in high school when you heard that a fight was happening? You don't even know who's fighting. You've never seen them a day in your life. But you knew there was a fight there. You knew people was gonna get hurt. People was gonna get hit. It's gonna tussle. Somebody's probably gonna bleed. And you rushed right to it. Both the men and the women. But I used to see women jump off the lunch tables just to see them fights, bro. What the frick? Like they was about to tumble with them. I used to see both guys and girls hop on them tables just to watch these random people fight. Human beings naturally have this malice within us. It's not just within men, it's within women. And women kind of carry that malice heavily when it comes to competing with each other. So it's like oftentimes I've noticed when a woman has something that another woman wants, whether she can admit it that she wants it or not, she's going to show it through her actions. She's going to show it through her actions by sabotaging a relationship one way or another. And what's even worse about the situation is oftentimes as a woman that do crave to be in a relationship with a man on long term and one day get married, I mean, who can you trust more than your closest family members and your closest friends, right? Your best friend, so to speak. So when a problem or crisis occurs in your relationship, oftentimes who's the first person that you run to? The person you're closest to, that you share all your secrets with. Perhaps a best friend that you share the secrets that you don't share with your siblings or your family with, right? And you're confiding in a woman that does not have the capability of staying in a relationship for relationship advice. What profound advice do you think you're going to receive from this woman? You want relationship advice from a woman that can't keep a relationship. Are you serious? You want relationship advice from a girl that cannot keep a man to save her life. Make that make sense. It's like going to the river and asking a fish to teach you how to fish. You don't go to the fish. You don't ask the fish how to catch the fish. You ask the fisherman. You ask the person with experience at attaining that thing, the very thing that you want. It is a moot point for a married couple who have a greater stake in their relationship. They're literally bonded together by contract. It is a moot point for them to go to relationship advice from somebody that's just boyfriend and girlfriend. They don't have as high a stake in a relationship as that married couple. They just don't. Like the things that the married couple have to set up for themselves as a married couple, put in their joint accounts and putting their names together. The boyfriend and girlfriend are not doing that. It's a moot point for them to go to them for relationship advice. It should be the other way. It's like you're married and you're going to advice from a boyfriend and girlfriend. You're downgrading. Usually it'll be the boyfriend and girlfriend asking a relationship from the married couple on how to get where they are, where they're married and they're in a happy, sustained relationship, marriage together that they came to to an agreement with under God. Even though most people don't, they don't really hold it sacred anymore. That's how it's supposed to be. The married couple is not going to go to the regular couple. That's a downgrade. It's the other way around. You don't go to the fish and ask the fish. It's a damn fish. You go to the fisherman. He has experience on catching the fish, on getting that what you want. If you want relationship advice, you don't go to a single woman to get relationship advice from. She's only going to give you single woman advice, bro. Like literally, what advice do you think you're going to be able to get from her? How to stay single? But that's not what you want though. You want to know how to fix whatever problem or situation that you have with the person that you're currently involved with. How are you going to do that with somebody that is not involved with anybody and doesn't really possess the capabilities of being involved with anybody long term and is virtually just being used for their body? Whether it's their fault or not, they're being used for their body. They can always say no. Your friend can always say no. But she says yes damn near every single time, bro. She's a scat pack. She's a scat pack. Do you want to be a scat pack? If being in a relationship, as I'll reiterate, if being in a relationship, in a long-standing, sustained relationship and or marriage, and someday with a family is something that you desire, that clock has to start. Single women keep other women single like crazy. It's almost damn near a disease. Single women keep other women single. If you're trying to hold on to this relationship with her just because you guys know each other for such a long time, just understand there are checks and balances in the world where, for example, you have certain countries that don't have feminist ideologies, right? Where the women are more traditional, the men are more traditional, they're masculine, the women are feminine. But on the other hand, the cost of that femininity and that masculinity and that dichotomy between the two of them, oftentimes those countries do not have the most liberating laws the way that America does. Now, America, of course, naturally is cooked. The women are masculinized and the men are feminized, right? But we still have freedom of speech. We still have the amendments, right? We still have much more freedom than you will find in a place like Germany or in a place like Russia. Oh, Lord, Russia. In places like that, checks and balances. You want the women to be more feminine and the men to be more masculine. It's going to come at certain rights and privileges that you get in America. You want rights and privileges that you get in America? It's going to come at cost of the masculinity from the men and the femininity from the women. You want a long-standing relationship. It's going to come at a cost of your single friend that does not possess the ability to be able to stay in a relationship to save her life. You want to keep that friendship with her because you've known her for so long? That's fine and that's fine and dandy. But it's going to come at a cost at you being in a sustained relationship long term. Because I promise you, eventually she is going to corrupt you, bro. I mean, it's the person. It's like you have a best friend for what? That's the person that you listen to the most. So if you're not listening to that person the most, are they really your best friend? So it's like you really can't have it. You can't have it both ways. It's either or. Because if you're saying, okay, well, I'm not going to listen to all the time or confide in her, then is she really your best friend? You guys are basically just acquaintances at that point. Because if that's not the case, then you're going to be listening to her most of the time. And once again, what's a single woman going to tell you? What advice is a single woman going to be able to give you on how to sustain your relationship? She's single. She can't keep a man. That's her cross. It's not your cross to bear. She can't keep a man. She literally can't keep a man. And at some point, if your guy got some common sense and he's preeing her behavior and he's noticing how she is and how promiscuous she more or less will tend to be, he's going to want you to cut off anyway. So now you really got to choose your relationship with the guy of your dreams, or whatever it is that you women say, the guy of your dreams, or your friendship with this girl. You cannot have it both ways. Not while she's chronically single. The only way you can have it both ways is you keep your best friend. If the woman can keep a relationship, if she can keep a relationship with a good dude, I'm not talking about one of these scammers or these YNs, the dudes in the street, because girls somehow know how to keep them dudes around somewhat. You know, they sure know how to fight for them Negroes. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about an upstanding young man, an upstanding citizen. Him, that guy. Let her keep a well put together man. Be able to keep and be faithful to that man. That's how your friendship can last. If not, gang, come on, bro. Your family members at some point is gonna tell you. Your guy's family members is gonna tell you. He's gonna tell you. She gotta go. Either she gotta go or he gotta go. But you literally cannot have it both ways. Single women keep other women single. Misery loves company, and bad company corrupts good morals. I mean, you can take the advice, don't take the advice. Of course, naturally, this isn't for the women that don't want to be in a relationship. I mean, if there's women that don't want to be in a relationship that's watching, you probably should have been clicked off. No cap. But if you stay, then you probably want to be in a relationship on the low. I'm peeping you. I'm preying you. I see you too. We seen eye to eye. You feel me? But yeah. Ultimately, of course, the decision is yours. But if you really think that the world is so fair and so given that you can have it both ways, that reality check gonna be crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. A reality check is gonna be extremely crazy. Just be very discerning, bro. Be very discerning of the company that you keep around. You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with, whether you want to believe it or not. It is what it is.